Can a single city hold the weight of an entire empire while slowly surrendering to the dust of time? Agra is not just a point on a map, but a living testament to imperial ambition, tragic love, and the cold reality of power. Located along the banks of the Yamuna River in the heart of northern India, it has seen the rise of kings and the silence of Grav. Why does a tomb built for a dead queen still command the world's attention after 400 years? Today, we peel back the layers of white marble and red sandstone to find the soul of a city that refuses to be forgotten. Before we descend into the shadows of history, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Your journey through the echoes of the past begins now. Agra sits on the vast Indo-Gangetic Plain, a strategic gateway that once controlled the pulse of the subcontinent. The Yamuna River flows past its borders, acting as a lifeline for millions and a defensive moat for the powerful. This geography was no accident. The river provided a ceremonial backdrop for monuments, reflecting the ego of emperors in its moving waters. It served as a natural barrier against invaders, making the city a fortress of both stone and spirit. Even today, the river remains the silent witness to every change Agra has endured. The name Agra carries a weight that stretches back into the mists of ancient Sanskrit. Some scholars say it refers to a salt pan, a humble beginning for a place that would become a global crown jewel. Others believe it means foremost, a prophetic title for a city destined to lead an empire. It sits near the sacred forests of Vrindavan, a land charged with spiritual energy and ancient Hindu myths. Long before the first brick of a palace was laid, this ground was considered holy. It was a place where the earthly and the divine seemed to converge. Before the arrival of the great emperors, various Hindu dynasties governed this fertile region. They recognized the value of the land, but it was Sikandar Lodi who truly saw its potential in the year 1504. He moved his capital here, turning a quiet settlement into a center of administration and military might. Artisans, scholars, and soldiers began to flood the streets, creating a melting pot of ideas and cultures. This was the beginning of Agra's transformation into a crucible of power. Under the Lodi dynasty, the foundations were laid for what would soon become the most famous skyline in the world. The year 1526 changed everything. The First Battle of Panipat delivered the keys of the city into the hands of Babur, the founder of the Mughal Empire. Babur did not just want to rule the land, he wanted to reshape it into a version of paradise. He introduced the Charbagh, a Persian-inspired garden concept defined by perfect symmetry and flowing water. To Babur, a garden was a refuge from the chaos of war, a way to impose order on a wild landscape. This obsession with symmetry would become the DNA of every structure built in Agra for the next 2 centuries. When Akbar the Great took the throne, Agra reached its military and architectural peak. He was a visionary who understood that power must be visible to be respected. Akbar rebuilt the Agra Fort using massive blocks of red sandstone, creating a structure that was both a terrifying fortress and a refined palace. He was not content with just one city, so he founded Fatehpur Sikri nearby as an experimental capital. It was a city of dreams, built with incredible detail, yet it was ultimately abandoned when the water supply failed. This remains one of history's greatest ironies, a perfect city left to the ghosts because of a basic thirst. But it was under the reign of Shah Jahan that stone truly became emotion. In the year 1632, the world witnessed the beginning of a project that would redefine the limits of human skill. The Taj Mahal was not just a building, but a cosmic declaration of grief and devotion for his late wife, Mumtaz Mahal. It required the labor of 20,000 workers and took over 2 decades to complete. Every inch of the structure was designed to evoke a sense of the divine. It was a monument born of a broken heart, yet it stands as the most perfect creation ever made by human hands. The white marble of the Taj Mahal is not static. It was carefully chosen from the quarries of Makrana to interact with the light of the sun and the moon. At dawn, the monument appears to blush with a soft pink hue, shifting to a brilliant white during the day. Under the light of a full moon, it glows with a cold, golden intensity that feels supernatural. This was a deliberate design choice, a way to make the heavy stone feel light and ethereal. Is it a building, or is it a poem written in marble? Inside the Taj Mahal, the artistry reaches a level of detail that defies logic. The technique of pietra dura involves inlaying semi-precious stones into the white marble to create intricate floral patterns. Thousands of tiny stones were cut and polished to fit perfectly into the surface, creating a seamless fusion of Persian, Indian, and Islamic traditions. This work is so fine that you cannot feel the join between the stone and the marble. It is a testament to the fact that when an emperor has infinite resources, even the impossible becomes reality. While the Taj Mahal captures the world's imagination, the Agra Fort held the empire's beating heart. This was the city within a city, the place where laws were written and wars were planned. The Diwan was the hall of public audience, where the emperor sat on high to hear the grievances of his people. In the Diwan, private council was held in rooms decorated with gold and silk. It was a place of immense luxury, but also a place of dangerous secrets and high-stakes politics. The walls of the Agra Fort also hide the most haunting chapter of the Mughal story. Shah Jahan, the man who built the Taj Mahal, was eventually overthrown and imprisoned by his own son, Aurangzeb. He spent his final 8 years confined within the fort, looking out from a marble balcony. His only comfort was the distant view of his wife's tomb across the Yamuna River. This is the ultimate tragedy of power, where a man who owned the world died a prisoner, staring at the one thing he loved and could no longer touch. As the Mughal capital eventually shifted to Delhi, the glory of Agra began a long and painful unraveling. The city became a prize to be fought over, passing through the hands of Jat and Maratha warriors. Each transition left its mark, sometimes in the form of new buildings and often in the form of scars. By the early 19th century, the British East India Company moved in to claim the territory. The imperial capital was gone, replaced by the cold administrative machinery of a colonial power. The 1857 rebellion was a pivotal moment for the city and the nation. Agra became a focal flashpoint of resistance against British rule, a place where the old world fought one last time against the new. When the smoke cleared, the British solidified their control, turning Agra into a judicial and educational center. The skyline, once dominated by minarets and domes, began to see the arrival of railways and cantonments. The city of emperors was slowly being transformed into a colonial outpost, a cog in the wheel of a global empire. Post-independence Agra is a place of deep contradictions. It has reinvented itself as a massive tourism engine, drawing over 9 million visitors every year. People travel from every corner of the globe just to stand in the shadow of the Taj Mahal for a few minutes. Yet, beneath the surface of the tourism industry, Agra is also a major industrial hub. It sustains a globally exported leather and footwear industry that provides a livelihood for hundreds of thousands. This tension between the ancient and the modern defines the daily life of the city. The cost of this industrial success has been high. Rapid urbanization and unregulated factories have begun to poison the city's own inheritance. The Yamuna River, once a sacred mirror for monuments, is now severely contaminated with industrial waste. Air pollution has become a silent enemy, reacting with the marble of the Taj Mahal and turning it a sickly yellow. How can a city protect its past when its present demands so much growth? This is the central question facing Agra in the 21st century. In response to the environmental crisis, the government established the Taj Trapezium Zone. This is a protected area spanning over 10,000 square kilometers where industrial activity is strictly regulated. It is a massive undertaking, representing a constant battle between economic development and heritage preservation. Large-scale efforts are underway to clean the marble and restore the river, but the progress is slow. The battle for the Taj Mahal is not just about stone, it is a battle for the soul of India's history. Beyond the grand monuments, Agra lives and breathes through its vibrant culture and street life. The city is famous for petha, a translucent candy made from ash gourd that has been a local staple for centuries. Every street corner offers the smell of badialoo curry and the crunch of dal moth. This is a food culture that was refined in the royal kitchens and perfected on the sidewalks. When you eat in Agra, you are tasting a history that has been simmering for hundreds of years. Every February, the city transforms during the 10-day Taj Mahotsav festival. This is a time when the streets are reclaimed by woodcarvers, silk weavers, and classical dancers. It is a celebration of the human element that built the monuments in the first place. The festival reminds the world that Agra is not a museum frozen in time. It is a living, breathing archive where the traditions of the past are passed down to the next generation through song and craft. The infrastructure of the city is also evolving to meet the demands of the future. The Yamuna Expressway has cut the travel time from Delhi, making the city more accessible than ever before. In the year 2024, the launch of the Agra Metro signaled a new era of urban mobility. These projects are necessary for a growing population, but they also change the character of the city. How do you build a modern transit system without burying the archaeological treasures that lie beneath the soil? Agra is a city of layers, where every stone has a story and every story has a sting. It teaches us that imperial grandeur is often built on a foundation of intimate tragedy. It shows us that beauty can be a burden as much as a blessing. The city endures not because it resists the flow of time, but because it absorbs every change and keeps moving. It carries its contradictions forward, standing as a reminder that history is not a relic found in a book, but a continuous inheritance. The deepest lesson Agra offers is the reality of impermanence. Even the most enduring marble and the mightiest empires eventually face the weight of time. We build monuments to remember, but time often works to make us forget. Or are we just chasing shadows? What will your legacy be when the marble finally starts to fade? As you look at the sunset over the Yamuna, you realize that Agra is a mirror for all of us. It reflects our greatest ambitions and our deepest sorrows. It challenges us to find beauty in the midst of decay and to protect what is sacred in a world that is always changing. If you found value in this journey through the heart of Agra, Please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment below and tell us which part of Agra's history surprised you the most. Your engagement helps us continue to tell the stories that matter. The story of Agra is still being written by the people who walk its streets today. It is a story of survival, of a city that has seen the best and worst of humanity and still stands tall. It reminds us that we are all part of a larger narrative, one that stretches back centuries and forward into the unknown. Take a moment to reflect on the history you are creating in your own life. Every choice is a brick in the monument of your legacy. Make sure it is something worth remembering. We often think of history as something that happened to other people in another time, but Agra proves that the past is always present, whispering to us through the wind in the fort and the light on the tomb. It asks us to be better stewards of our world and our stories. It asks us to look beyond the surface and find the meaning in the struggle. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of power, betrayal, and beauty. We will see you in the next chapter of our journey through time.